Chairman, you're now live. You have the floor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, my fellow commissioners. I call the meeting to order. Is there a motion?
Yeah. I make a motion to have Commissioner Sacks serve as the chair of the meeting. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Ray?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Quick roll call.
Mm.
Chairman Sacks. Commissioner Randall.
Here.
Commissioner Maldonado.
Here.
Commissioner Ellis.
Here.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Here.
Commissioner Steele.
Here.
Chairman Sacks, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. As a courtesy to anybody, since this is at exactly the time of the eclipse, which will not occur again until 2044, which is a long way away. If anybody or any of the commissioners would like to leave, then we will recess for a moment. If not, we will continue with the meeting. Not seeing anybody want to leave, the meeting will continue. Is there a motion to call the meeting back to order?
So
We didn't actually
didn't.
leave the meeting. Public participation.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for joining us today to share your comments with PBC's board. In compliance with the Open Meetings Act, public participation provides an opportunity for residents to share their comments with our Board of Commissioners. Although this is not a question and answer session, staff are happy to follow up with you after the meeting. As a reminder, public participants must register 2 hours in advance of the meeting and are allowed 2 minutes to provide comments. As stated in the PBC's resolution adopted by the board, all public comments must be limited to issues of concern before the board or its committees. Remarks of a personal nature directed toward a board member, employees of the commission, or any other individual will not be permitted. Although we welcome public participation and public comment at our meetings, conduct or behavior that is not respectful or in violation of our anti-harassment policy will not be tolerated. Thank you again for joining us. Mary Pat?
Our first speaker is Miss Jessica Jackson.
Good afternoon.
Good
Good afternoon.
It's unfortunate that the people that I wanted to speak with are not here today. That would be Mayor Brandon Johnson and President Tony Frederick. And the issue that I want to bring before you, and you all can hear it, is the issue that Black housing for our properties are being taken by Cook County. Now, this is an issue that I've been talking about for a while because I've learned about it by way of the probate process. When my mother passed, she left a will, authentic will. She got 3 heirs. She had absolutely no debt. So the fact that this can get caught up in probate like this for 8 years now, all because Cook County wants the property. Now, the people that want it is Public Administrator Tina LaPusa, Leah Jacobsi, however you say their name, they know who they are. Attorney David Feldman, Public Administrator Louis G. Apostle, and Chief Timothy Evans knows about it himself. Now, this case is in federal court right now, and it's moving slow because Cook County, the city of Chicago, has been found the #1 corrupt city in America. Illinois has been found to be the 3rd. Some papers say the 1st corrupt state in the country. I don't know what to say when a city's claim to fame is that they're the most corrupt. How does a citizen get help? Where do you go? If you go to the courts and the courts are corrupt, everywhere you turn is corrupt. And I want to think that you all that's sitting around this table today have good intentions. I believe that you got good intentions, Mr. Gray. I believe that. And I'll work with you how I can. But be very conscious of the people that's sitting around here if you're corrupt.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Zoe Lake.
Good afternoon. My name is Zoe. I also am dealing with a, property issue. Mine goes to the illegal, demolition of my mother's property on 79th and Halsted in 2017. We're also in federal court. We've been waiting 6 months for an answer. So, I want to let you know that this is a different generation. I'm 37 years old. My mother's 75. I came from Atlanta and I was living my best life. Can't come back here. I protested all summer outside in front of City Hall, been in and out of these City Hall meetings. I've talked to the mayor, Tony Preckwinkle, all of them. My thing is the Democratic machine is dismantled. You already saw that with Bring Chicago Home. You already saw that with Harris not getting O'Mean Burke. I don't even know who she is, but at the end of the day, y'all are gonna stop taking our properties. It is and Black people, y'all have been doing this since 1977. And only thing that Black people can say is, that's what Chicago do. That's what Chicago do. It's going to stop. I'm not going to leave Chicago until my mother gets paid. That was my generational wealth. The whole purpose of generational wealth is real estate. Real estate is $1 trillion business. There's no way possible Black people can get their generational wealth if y'all keep taking our properties. So I'm the wrong one and the last one. So I'm trying to tell you, I really think y'all need to talk to whoever y'all need to talk to. If y'all can find money for these migrants, y'all definitely can find my mother money. And that's all I'm gonna say. Peace.
Thank you, Ms. Lake. The next speaker is Mr. George Blakemore.
The last time I was at this meeting, I pointed out this man right here. And this lady, Sarah Steele. I pointed him out. I was outraged. He attacked me. I did not know his name in the middle of the street, but to have the audacity for her to bring him back again to traumatize me. To traumatize me. You're telling he attacked me. Well, when I went to the police station, I did not know his name when I made the complaint about it. But soon I get through speaking, I'm gonna call 911 and go have the Chicago policeman to come up here and see why they can't arrest you. Why they can't arrest you. Now, let me get to the issue. Black faces in high places. And we have no representation. Black faces in high places, and we have no representation. This is why the people didn't come out to vote. This is why the young lady said we don't turn this city red because of the corruption, fraud, and abuse. Again, soon as I leave here, I'm gonna call 911 and the police department. If they don't come up, I'm gonna ask them why. Yeah, so I haven't finished my minute, but black faces in high places selling black people out, selling us out. Racism, nepotism, corruption with the Democratic Party. One thing about it, I know that I'll never vote Democratic again. Well, Trump was a racist 5 years too. I've been on this plantation. Now I'm gonna go to a new one. Never again will I ever vote for a Democrat. Racism, a one-party system is worse than communism. Now let me go out here and call the police.
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore. Our next speaker is Mr. Kenneth Newman. Thank you, Mr. Newman.
Good afternoon, Commissioner.
Good afternoon.
Director Gerlo. I do miss the fact that the mayor's not here and Ms. Brett Winkle and also President Chief on the school board. It's apparent more and more often every day that our young people are not getting what they need to get through school. And that includes also the city colleges. Now, it's nice to see that the city colleges are getting some new work, especially the nursing thing that we built in the Washington Park neighborhood,
Yeah.
which will be a huge benefit for that community. At the same time, the city colleges also need more athletic fields. That's true. Daly College has got empty space. Let's use that empty space for a soccer field for them. Right now, Daly College is playing on a lousy field in Marquette Park. At the same time, I have got an example here, Buffalo Grove High School. This is from the Tribune from March 31st. Buffalo Grove High School, which already has nice athletic facilities, is going to be building more for their community. And this headline from the Tribune from March 23rd, CPS vows to fund new education strategy at every school. Well, if we're going to start picking and choosing our schools, let's pick and choose the schools that either have empty space, a park, or a park nearby that they can build the athletic facilities that are so badly needed. And I've mentioned those before. Diet High School, Washington Park. Sullivan High School, Warren Park. Kennedy High School, Wentworth Park. Bowen High School, Bessemer Park. Washington High School, Rowan Park. Cherry High School has empty land. DuSable High School needs a complete renovation of their athletic facilities. And I could go on and on. Mather High School
Thank you,
has got
Mr.
Mather
President.
Park.
Thank
So
you.
please have the PBC start to do such things to help the community.
Thank you, sir. That concludes our public speaking. Yes, that's another.
Thank the public. Now, A3, consideration of approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held March 12th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. Report by the Administrative Operation Committee regarding the meeting held April the 3rd, 2024, and Commissioner and Chairman Jose Melendano will please present the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. AO Committee met on April 3rd, 2024, are reported as follows. The Director of Procurement reported on one task order award for specialty consultant surveyor services to the previously appointed firm. The report is under tab A4A. The Director of Procurement also reported on status of Architect of Record recommendation for the Logan Square Plazas project. The Acting Executive Director will provide additional details during his report. The acting executive director reported on procurement, compliance, and community outreach opportunities and will provide details during his report to the board. The acting executive director also reported that there were no field orders above the reporting threshold. The AO committee accepted the recommendations and reports from the PPC representatives. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Is there a motion to accept the report?
Move to accept the report.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Were there any questions to the report? The motion is carried. B1, consideration of approval to appoint a firm to provide architect of record services for the Logan Square Plaza project located at 2550 North Milwaukee Avenue and 3127 West Logan Boulevard. Would our executive director like to comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we reviewed during our March board meeting, PBC collaborated with its partners at the Department of Transportation and the Department of Planning and Development regarding the Logan Square Plazas project to design, engineer, and provide a multi-use open space that's going to benefit that entire growing community. In collaboration with our partners, we reviewed architect of record and engineer of record letters of interest and qualifications, otherwise known as our LIQ database, and invited 48 firms to attend a mandatory informational session that was conducted virtually on February 26, 2024. 27 of the 48 firms attended the meeting. On March 14th, 14 of the respondents provided their response to our procurement. We assembled in coordination with our partners at the Planning Department and CDOT, an evaluation committee that consisted of knowledgeable and experienced staff who assessed the submissions based on those respondents' commitment to schedule and budget, along with relevant experience and their commitment to M&WB participation. As a result of that, The team selected 5 architects to interview. The architects were concluded recently. Following the interviews by consensus, the evaluation committee represents Hitchcock Design Group as the architect of record for the project, and we recommend issuance of a new task order-based master agreement with the PBC, consistent with our pool of AOR, EOR master agreements in the amount of $10 million. That concludes my report for item B1.
Are there any questions? I would like to know, have they ever done any work for us before?
They have done work with the PBC before.
I think the commissioners might like to know that.
Sure. Anticipating that question would come up, we asked the firm to provide us a list of projects that not only have they worked with PBC, but also CDOT, Park District, city colleges, and the Chicago Public Schools. It's an extensive list of projects. I can read some of the projects in which they provided services for the Public Building Commission. Those would be site development design guidelines, along with the Collins High School and South Shore High School demolition project, the Comer Family Reading Garden, the Lloyd Elementary Turf Field, Douglas Field and Track, Rosenblum Park, Dominguez Elementary Turf Field, and the NTA Turf Field. Those are just some of the projects in which this firm worked successfully to deliver with PBC.
Is there any comment?
Move to accept item B1.
Is there a second? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion is carried. Consideration of C1, consideration of approval of an undertaking request from City Colleges of Chicago for the School of Nursing Expansion Project at Kennedy King College located at 6301 South Halsted Street.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As part of our continued collaboration with our partners at the City Colleges, there are 2 exciting projects that we're going to present today for your consideration: a formulation request and an undertaking request, and later an update on where we are with the West Side Learning Center that's an extension of the Malcolm X College. As it relates to item C1, this is the undertaking for the School of Nursing expansion at Kennedy King College. We anticipate to provide renovations to create nursing laboratories, classrooms, and accompanying student learning and experimenting spaces to support the growth healthcare field. On April 4th, the City Colleges of Chicago approved this action with funding identified in an amount of $10 million. Following today's approval, we'll continue to collaborate with City Colleges on the development on the project, delivery, schedule, budget, scope, and program. We're truly excited to work with our partners at the City Colleges on one of 3 projects that we're going to be discussing today. That concludes my report for item C1.
Is there any questions, any comments? I'd like to make one, and I am really proud of this because I was around when we started that nursing program. And it's been rated one of the best in the world, not just the country. And so this is a delight. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion is carried. C2, consideration of approval of the formulation request from City Colleges of Chicago for the Malcolm X College Learning Center located in Washington Park.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the second of 3 projects we're going to be discussing today. This is for the formulation in partnership, of course, with City Colleges for the development of a new learning center, including laboratory, classroom, student admin spaces to support the Southside expansion of Malcolm X's health programs. Again, on April 4th, the City Colleges of Chicago also authorized a request for PBC to provide these services in the amount of $2 million. Following your consideration and approval, we'll work with City Colleges on the development of the project, reconfirm scope, budget, program, along with budget. Finally, as we continue to collaborate with City Colleges on these 2 new projects, we will work with both communities and all the stakeholders involved to ensure that we maximize opportunities for those that want to participate on this project. That concludes my report for item C2.
Are there any questions?
I have a question. So what's the location of this?
Yes.
Washington Park.
Come up, Washington.
It's
It's in the 3rd ward with Alderman Dow.
Washington Park
Yeah,
Community Area.
you're 55th and Garfield and King Drive.
Okay, not Washington Park proper.
Right.
Right. Okay.
By the old CTA,
I know exactly where that is. Excuse me?
by the CTA stop.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I call for a motion.
Well, so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion is carried. Thank you. Returning to item A5, report by the acting executive director regarding regular reports and development status and other matters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Continuing on our partnership with the city colleges, wanted to provide an update regarding the West Side Learning Center Annex and Renovation Project located at 4624 West Madison Street. At our last board meeting, we approved a revised undertaking. And on March 20th, we issued an RFP for construction management at-risk services for the project. On April 2nd, we hosted a pre-submission conference and site visit at the West Side Learning Center that was well attended, not just by prospective construction managers, but vendors, suppliers, subcontractors, and most importantly, students from the Dawson Technical Institute, which were invited there along with their dean and administrator. I'm going to talk about that shortly. As it relates to the purpose of that meeting for the pre-submission conference, obviously we provided an update to all those CMs and different vendors, suppliers, and subcontractors, but most importantly, part of the requirement for the CM is as they submit their responses to the RFP, they will be committing to hiring 2 students from the City Colleges program, specifically Dawson Tech. Not only that, but within 30 days of issuance of that NTP, they will sponsor those 2 students at a minimum into the union with union cards to participate on the project from the beginning all the way through completion of the project at the end of next year. The 2 students that we invited attended, they stood up, they spoke regarding their trades, their passion for the trades, their passion for construction, their passion for architecture, estimating, blueprint reading, and so on and so forth. And I know that during our AO committee, we talked about how personal some of this is to some of us sitting in this room, especially the Dawson Tech program, and the effect and impact it has on families and the opportunities that we will guarantee to at least 2 students. And we're not going to stop there, Chairman. As it relates to the other city colleges projects, we'll collaborate with city colleges on that as well. And we'll ensure that we continue the same method and approach for those 2 projects to engage students from the vocational programs being provided by the city colleges. Furthermore, as we get into our next phases of our development and what we do to communicate and outreach with all of our assist agencies, we will conduct a conference with our general contractors, all the pre-qualified GCs and job order contracting firms, either on May 2nd or May 7th, in which we will be at one of the city colleges facilities. And in that regard, Dawson Tech students, their dean and their administrators will be there as well. We intend on introducing all of the students to all of our pre-qualified contractors and job contracting firms as well, not just as an introduction, but a real pathway to work and obtain union cards and participate on our projects. Commissioner Maldonado, Commissioner Randall, wanted to thank you for all your input and guidance on that during AO and even prior to that. The submissions for the CMAR work for the West Side Learning Center are required by April 18th. We'll provide another update as those submissions come through with our recommendations and evaluation committee's consensus on that. Separately, on March 21st, we conducted our second of 4 planned community meetings at the Kennecott Park. I provided individual updates for all of you, and I appreciate all your responses back in that regard and your support. At our March 21st meeting, we were fortunate to have Alderman Robinson, obviously President Pretwinkle was there, and Commissioner Randall were there. We provided an update to all the residents from the February 22nd meeting, ensure that we maintain an open dialogue, an honest dialogue to give everybody the sense that we are listening, that we are incorporating comments. We advised the community regarding next steps And the next major step from the March 21st meeting was that we started one of the permitting procedures as of April 1st. That permitting process, we anticipate approximately a 12-month process through next April. And we recommitted our effort to come back to conduct 2 more meetings after this March 21st meeting, and that would be on April 25th. And then the last meeting is planned for late in May. Now, we'll make adjustments as needed, and if we need to continue that engagement process, we will. We had some excellent questions. Commissioner Randall, thank you for all the comments that you made during the meeting, and of course, Alderman Robinson, and of course, President Pretwinkle. I think the comments and questions were well received. We do post everything on our website. So the opportunities page, along with the Morgan Shoal project page, includes the flyer that was issued last week that all of you received from me as well. And we plan on posting the questions and answers from the community, along with all the responses that were provided. And our entire staff was there to support as well, so couldn't thank you enough. We'll continue that dialogue, and we'll continue the consistency of these meetings and the intent of the meetings to make sure that everybody feels heard and is part of the entire process. With regard to other news, wanted to just update everybody on the joint
Can I
police.
comment on this one just for the moment? I'll go ahead and then I'll comment.
No, you can go ahead.
This commission built 31st Street Harbor. And when everybody said that couldn't happen, the Corps and I'm very proud of that, extremely proud, because it connected, it gave a harbor to the south side that was really fundamental. But the fact that we were able to do it in terms of the geology, in terms of how the lake behaves, and it was a remarkable success. And I just think, but we do have the knowledge base on how to continue. This is an essential issue for climate, for control of the lake, and for control of our wonderful harbors and for yachting, of course, on the lake, but also for all of the relationships that we've had around the lake, but with the other states. And I just want to thank you for handling it this way, and thank Commissioner Randall and of course the Park District crowd.
It is a partnership with the Park District, with the Army Corps of Engineers, with CDOT, both aldermen, along with everybody in this room. I think our success is going to be a collaboration of all of our experience, lessons learned, and best practices. And President Hamilton, the Park District couldn't have done better on our last board meeting. So really appreciate it. At our last community meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish you'd comment.
Yeah.
Because this is a very serious issue.
Yeah, so
I mean, in the best of ways.
yeah, it is, and it's been a long-standing issue. So I just want to recognize the PBC staff, Ray, and the whole team. Heather Gleason, your planning director, the Parks did a wonderful job, and Army Corps did a wonderful job at that meeting. And that's a potentially contentious issue because it's proximity to Crown Point and some history. So they answered all the questions and they were prepared to answer them. So that was wonderful and should be commended. With respect to the other item, with our work with the city colleges in Dawson Tech, so Ray references. So I know firsthand, because I have a brother who attended Dawson Tech in the 1980s, that it's a life changer for a lot of folks, and that type of training is something he still does today professionally. So the training he got at Dawson Tech. So I know that he's not the only person, and there's a lot of people who benefit from that type of education, and I'm happy that the Public Building Commission is participating in helping them to further their mission.
And thank you for that. And City College has a big role in that.
Yeah.
And it is our intent to make a difference, even if it's one life, but even multiple students. And it gave me an opportunity when I was growing up. And your story with your brother was very touching. And Commissioner Maldonado, you had some comments as well during AO regarding your personal experience, which really went a long way for us.
And I add a little bit to that. It's like Dawson Tech plays an important role in my career. That was a stepping stone to put me where I'm at now. So I take it I'm very proud of it. I take it very personal. And if there's anything I could do to help you out for outreach and giving people the opportunity that I had, I think it would work in the best interest of them to see somebody that was in their similar situation, sitting in those same desks, and see that they could also have a great opportunity and a great career.
Yeah, thank you for that. And as I said it during AO, I'll take you up on it.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we do meet with our GCs and our pre-approved job order contractors at one of the locations that we'll determine here shortly, I think your presence, and I'll make sure that all the commissioners know about that. Because I think the more the students see a reflection of themselves in all of us, the easier it's going to be for them. And I talked to some of you outside, and that's some of the differences that we're making. And I know it's challenging, but it's not too big. The moment's not too big for anybody in this room, and we will make a difference in some of these students' lives. Not just if they want to wear a tool belt, but also if they want to do anything that anybody in this room is doing, right? Estimating, procurement, compliance, controls, construction management, whatever it might be. They may be future commissioners sitting at this table, and why not?
Right.
And that's something that hit home for us during the pre-submission conference at the Westside Learning Center, is that the students, they sat up front, they volunteered to come up front, they stood up. One of them a carpentry, concrete, and the other a plumber, and they were telling us their stories, and it touched everybody's hearts as well. Whereas some of our staff stood up and said, well, listen, here's how I got here. It wasn't easy. And one of the things that the students did appreciate, that the dean appreciated, and the administrators appreciated, is that people that look like them were having conversations with them. And I think all of our contractors noted that we're in the room, because if it's important for us, then it's going to be important for them. If it's not important for us, then the PBC is not doing its job. I can guarantee that the PBC is doing its job, and thanks for your guidance and your support in that effort. And I will take you up on that. As soon as we get that location identified, I'll make sure to communicate with all of you as well. And I think it's a great opportunity to engage the students and really highlight the program and really thank the city colleges for their effort in making a difference in these lives. So it's a big deal for all of us. Thank you.
On a personal note, I was the founding vice chairman of the City Colleges Foundation. So I'm pretty proud of that. We didn't have a foundation, and we wound up with a wonderful foundation. City Colleges is an absolute. I want to also mention historically that Bobby Kennedy's father attended City Colleges, who was our the United States Attorney General under his brother, President Kennedy. And so there's a long line. I'm looking back because this meeting is my 53rd year meeting today.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'd also like to chime in. For like 6 years, I sat on the Dawson's advisory committee, and during President Hyman's term, right, it was almost a ghost town over at Dawson, and to see the life in the building and the lives that continue to change because of their interaction with those programs, because sometimes we underfund, right? And everyone is not, they're not created to go to four-year colleges, but we had a trades. Chicago is a trade city. It's a union city. And we should have access in the public to those jobs, right? Through Dawson and other colleges, not just at Dawson, but we should expand across the city, because it's a long travel for a lot of those people to get to Dawson. So we should look for, like satellite programs in other parts of the city.
They're critical.
They are.
Commissioner Ellis, thank you. I couldn't agree with you more. Written into our procurement is a mission statement and a goal for what we're doing and what the CMs are going to be required to do, not just hire the students, but empower the students, train the students, evaluate the students, support the students so they can have that success that you're talking about. It's written in the RFP, and we intend on guaranteeing that the CMs will do that. We have no hesitation in making that statement here.
I just want to be clear, you also have the academic program known now? Have they submitted what they really are going to be doing inside the
CMs?
Yeah.
So as part of their response, they will have to submit a written plan as to how they
But
intend
I
on
want to be
executing.
sure that there's a concurrent academic plan, not build the building and then not have had communications with the professors and have real data.
Yeah.
Because that's where the mistakes come. They'll say, oh, we open it up and then why didn't this happen? Why didn't that happen? So I think it's critical. And if we need other funding or something for it, you can come back for it. But the idea that when they request something, we need to take a good look at the programming.
Agreed. Thank you.
Chairman, Chancellor Maldonado presented to his board what his plan is in the academic program. So you could come back and talk to you.
Well, that's great. I just want to be sure there is one. It's not a criticism.
Yes.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Is there any other?
Yeah, just a couple of more
Oh, sure.
things and I'll wrap it up. I'm sorry. I think that was a very, very informative dialogue we just had. So we discussed our intent to conduct the conference with our general contractors, pre-qualified general contractors and job order contractors. We talked briefly about our assist agencies, roundtable, or conferences that we're conducting. We have a follow-up conference with the assist agencies on June 27th. As part of that, the reason why we're doing this with the assist agencies is to not only advise regarding opportunities, but obtain feedback from the assist agencies, from their membership in terms of some of the challenges and where improvements can be implemented. So it's a shared responsibility that we've committed to one another between the assist agencies and the PBC. In fact, on May 23rd, the Federation of Women Contractors has invited us to speak to their membership, whether it's payments, opportunities, change orders, access, capital, bonding, everything and anything in between is what we intend on discussing. As we continue to improve our processes, I think that engagement is a critical part of what we do. During the last assist agency conference that we had that you see on the screen, some of the conversation pertained around, well, I'm an MRWBE company. How do I even know? How do I know where to go? Who do I contact? Aside from having signed up for our alert system, which is key, it's also introductions and opportunities with our contractors. And that's the intent of this conference that we're going to have. Not the last one. We will have these conferences on a regular basis. So different vendors, suppliers, subcontractors, and the students from Dawson Tech can attend the conference so that everybody knows who to call, who to contact, what the next steps are, and go through the entire process. That's another commitment that we're going to make. I know that it's important to all of you and our chairperson. It's something that we will do. As it relates to the Joint Police Safety Training Campus, the Phase 1 Outlot Restaurant area, the project has been named as one of the finalists for the Merit Award by the Chicago Building Conference. We've talked a lot of, thank you. We've talked a lot about this project. Our design builder that you approved is an MBE firm led by BOA Construction. Couldn't be more proud of that appointment. He's been here previously and he spoke at one of our meetings. Our restaurant operator is a minority-owned entity as well. He committed to hire residents from the community, which are pictured there as well. When we were at the interview, BOA FGMA is the architect of record that works for BOA, not the other way around. We were asked a number of questions, right? So we updated the team on the master plan and the courage that it took to deliver a 30+ acre, nearly $200 million project. This isn't the only project on this 30+ acre site, right? So Peaches, the restaurant outlet area, the Boys and Girls Club, the academic building, and the training scenario village, along with an EMS addition that's coming up. So the courage that it took for the administration to push that project forward is like no other. When we were asked as part of the finishing interview, what would it mean to the Public Building Commission if we won the award? And our reply was the award is one piece of the puzzle. The fact that we were invited, the fact that we were finalists, the fact that a MBE owned firm, BOA Construction, is a lead on the project, to us, that's a win already, as one piece of the puzzle. And I think that resonated with everybody there. Clearly, the other projects that were presented that day are great, but the master planning and the amount of work that BOA had to do to prepare the site, to get through the IEPA's SRP program, to obtain 2 NFR letters, to coordinate all the utilities, create an open campus welcoming scenario, whereas there's a dining plaza and a plaza where families and cadets can gather and correspond and have a dialogue and have a bite to eat, to build that trust with first responders and the community, along with the space that's provided for the Boys and Girls Club. This is truly a masterpiece on the west side of Chicago that's been a long time coming. So couldn't thank our Chairman Johnson enough, or Alderman Mitz enough, for their courage and their support throughout this process. So our message to the committee that was interviewing us is that we've already won, because we have a team led by an MBE firm in BOA Construction. That's what makes us proud. If we win the award, that's great. But the fact that we're invited and BOA took the lead during the entire conversation, presented the project and delivered the project, that's what makes us most proud.
Does anybody want to comment on that?
The last item, and I'll be quick,
No, that's okay.
is as we continue to engage our staff with regard to professional development and or our support of staff, Employee Appreciation Day, and everything that goes with it. There's one person, our Director of HR, Janice Johnson, that I couldn't thank enough for helping us keep on track, organizing all of our events. She had to leave early today.
I
But
was just looking for.
yeah, no, she is incredible. All of our staff is incredible. We had motivational speakers come and speak to staff. I happened, there was a contest, and I'm going to say that I won the contest, but I wasn't given the prize, and that's a whole different problem that we'll talk about at another board meeting.
That's because of our hair.
And we had a Jenga competition that I did win, so that much at least I get credit for. But I wanted to thank everybody at the PBC and all of you for making this place fun to be part of and an incredible opportunity for all of us. That concludes my report.
Well, thank you, Ray. You've been with us a long time and you've done an outstanding job. Is there anything else? I'd like to just make a couple of personal comments just so the commission understands everything. One, and this is directly with, there's a lot of news about Soldier Field. I'm only going to say I am not taking a position. I'm just simply believe that since the commissioners haven't been here before, we have been responsible for the building from 1971 on. And it's been a remarkable experience, the different district leadership. And when you look at it, I do have to make one negative comment, and that is that we offered the Bears a dome stadium. They rejected it. They said they would have more advantage in the winter against other teams. And so I think that it's, I feel personally, and I take full responsibility for it. If you look at the history of Soldier Field, there are a couple of main points. One is that it was named by the Gold Star mothers who started their Gold Star, and that's been so sensitive throughout our military. It was born here in Chicago, and they were the ones that gave the name Soldier Field. I can go through everything up to date. It's open, but I don't think it's fair to be out there saying that that this commission that's had been responsible for it did not offer more seating, did not offer other amenities, including a museum for the NFL and for the Bears. So once in a while, we have to come back and say what was done in the past. It's an open subject. They're a tenant. Everybody along the line will take a view of what they've done. And I would like to just say, I appreciate very much being a part of this commission. And if there's any other comments, let me know. And thank you all, and with,
So I want to move to accept the report of the executive director.
I'll second, I mean, you're
Second.
moving.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Thank you. President.